feels like there's a little bit more to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing. That I'll just be reading and then, oh, we're already in another topic the next sentence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he switches from story to story.
You know, I've read it before. I read the whole Bible before, but it's like I just went through it. I didn't study it. I just like, okay, it's cool. Cool story, cool story, cool story. But now it's like I want to know, and like I'm interested in, I'm doing Acts. I think I'm doing Acts. I believe what I think it's Acts.
Yeah, you got me looking forward to X.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
finished Acts.
Yeah, I'm doing Acts. Like, yeah, so I read it for 50 minutes and like I really focus on what he's saying, and I'm making notes too. Like even when I'm working out, like something will come up and I write it on my board. I have another board there working. You know,
I'll do that too. Like I'll be working out. Sometimes I don't even listen to music. I'll just be listening to sermons.
yeah,
Working out.
Mm.
yeah. I need to sermons all day, man. Like all day, and whether I'm paying attention or not, I just watch them all day and stuff. But yeah,
Gives a whole little. It shifts you from just trying to like, all right, I'm here to work out.
yeah,
I don't. I
Mm.
like it though. It's pretty
yeah. Help me focus in my workouts too and stuff. So yeah, so welcome to episode 4. We finally got able to get
got our
our name. We got our name, 410 Brotherhood. That's gonna be our podcast name, right? We're gonna have these cool T-shirts. This is the first ones. We love these T-shirts, right? They're good brand. The logo is great, right? And so we'll be putting those out soon, right? For now, we're gonna get these videos out and this podcast out. But we're back. We're back today. Today we're gonna talk about brotherhood, right? What it means to be, why brotherhood is important, stuff like that. And I can tell you that it is really important. Just being part of this group of men, even if I'm the head, right, the leader for now, I don't consider myself the leader. I consider like we're all the same, but I just happen to be in that place, right, in the position. But I think it's very, very important for me to be able to also grow in my spiritual life. The last year or so that we've been doing this, right? So, what do you guys think about the group overall?
Um, I think it's good. I kind of like the heading that we had for today, right? That it's not optional, right?
Right.
I think anything that's not like brotherhood related, or you have some type of community, your family, your church, or whatever it is, or friendships, leads to isolation, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we all know isolation can lead all
Yeah.
certain directions, right? Um, and I think we talked about it last Thursday, right? I think um, the really neat part of when you're following Jesus is when your dependence goes to him, right? And
Yeah.
I think when we isolate, it can kind of lead to that ego and that we can do everything on our own and
Right.
ourselves, right? So no, I think it's important, right? Because other than the obvious, right, is you have support and you have people to be there for you,
Yeah.
right? How would you accountable?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
kind of vouch for that. Growing up, going through my trials and everything, I would just isolate, do it on my own,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and notice I would come out the other end, but I'd be hardened, I'd be bitter, I'd be
Mhm.
an a-hole,
Mm.
very selfish, and just now being in this brotherhood really kind of puts it into perspective of the difference between doing things alone and having brothers too.
Yeah.
And it's a day and night difference for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Definitely. I know for me,
Yeah.
in the last few months, I struggled with things, and I'm finally being able to share, like at least reach out to the group and I say, hey, I'm going through something. And
Mhm.
even if we're not specific, I think just reaching out to me, that for me, that's big. Like, man,
Yes.
I'm telling another man, hey, I'm struggling right now, man. And and so some of the reasons why men can isolate because of pride or shame and fear of being judged, past betrayals from friends or,
Right.
family, even family sometimes betrays you, right? Or not wanting to appear strong. Some people don't want to appear strong. They want to, today's man, I think that, uh, again, we talked about toxic masculinity,
Mhm.
right? And some men are afraid to kind of be strong like that, right? Or not knowing how to open up.
Right.
I think for me it was all of the above, right? Like shame and pride, whatnot. Why do you guys think men struggle so much in being honest with other men?
Um, I guess one of the things that I've heard from like clients and maybe even myself, I've heard people say, I'm sure y'all have plenty, so I'll touch on one that maybe y'all hadn't thought
Yeah.
of. But one of them is that I feel it's like the responses that they receive when they try to open
Yeah.
up, right?
Yeah.
Like some people could try to make it, let's say, like, "Oh man, come on, you've been through tougher." Like maybe like
Yeah.
it's like, "Bro,
Yeah.
you a ranger. What are you
Yeah.
worried
I
about?"
know. I
You
hear.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
I
when
hear that a
people
lot.
try to like water down, and
When
then
you're
it makes
feeling it.
you wonder, like, man, well, maybe it is me, right? So I think the responses kind of matter. It's kind of like, in therapy when we do it, it's
Right.
validation. Validation is really important,
Yeah.
right? Um, so I think that's one aspect. I think that kind of takes man. What do you think, Jason?
I feel too that it has to do with the part of I need help, but I want to be helped the way I want
Oh,
to,
that's a
not
good one.
what I
Yeah.
need.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Okay.
So a lot of the times, again, from experience, there's some things that, hey, I need help, but
Hmm.
help me how I want to be helped so
Right.
I don't feel like I'm being belittled
Right.
or feel less than.
Right.
And sometimes through this group, that's what's needed. I had to sort of really look in the mirror and kind of break my own heart. Like, hey, I'm the problem here.
Yeah.
I got to focus on what I need to do with me first before I can start fixing the real issue.
Yeah. Yeah. And we tend to isolate. I mean, that's one of
Hmm.
the dangerous things of not having a brother who you isolate, and it becomes dangerous, right? We start making poor
Mm.
decisions. We have secret sin, right?
Yeah.
One of those is pornography, drinking, masturbation, right? Infidelities, right? Then we become depressed. For me, depression is a big one. I get depressed when I isolate.
You
I,
ruminate,
I ruminate
Yeah.
so much, man. My
right?
brain is, I'm so creative,
Yeah.
very creative, right? I
Especially as
can,
a ranger.
yes, I'm very creative. My
Imagination.
brain's going like this, 100 miles an hour. And so when I'm depressed, it goes 100 miles an hour,
Hmm.
and it creates stories, right? And then I become angry, right? I get angry, and I don't have much addictions anymore. I don't drink, as much anymore or at all sometimes, right? Uh, and so also some of the problems are marital problems or relationships, right? And definitely spiritual drift, right? Those are some of the dangers of isolation and stuff like that. What have you dealt with in the past when you were isolated? What were some of the things that you struggle with, do you think?
I would honestly, when I would try to think, you know what, this whole God thing isn't working. I don't feel the change yet. So my biggest thing was like, you know what, let me go smoke a little bit of marijuana and get my mind
Mm.
off things. You know what, let me have a
Mhm.
drink just to kind of not feel these emotions for a little bit and let me just go to my dreamland for a little
Right.
while. And then once I start getting that, oh, I feel loose and I feel good, then I would get lustful. And then I'm
Right.
like, man, okay, pornography's right there. Maybe I
Yeah.
could, find a dopamine
Right.
with doing something like that. And it never works out. It
Mm.
never really kind of scratches that itch that you have.
Mhm.
And with doing so, I just decided, you know what, this isn't working for me. I give up pretty much. Just
Yeah.
surrender the fact that, hey, I'm gonna try to fix myself and go through it my way. And it always ends in a dead end, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never get to the root problem or solution of, hey, how do I overcome this?
Mhm.
'Cause I was isolated. I wanted to do it on my own. Came to the men's group. I remember first week, second week, I'm like, man, this is really helping me out. This
Yeah.
is something that maybe I needed to throw myself in. So it's it's very informative, very building, character driven, especially with other people, like I said, not the only one struggling.
Right. Right. And
So
and
yeah,
and I don't think oftentimes as men, and it's not. I just don't want to like make it men and women, but I think we're not necessarily looking for the solution. We just like
Right.
Miguel says, like when he puts things in the chat, like I'm struggling with something. It's like I don't need y'all to solve it. I
right.
like sometimes we just need to let that out, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes even in that, there's a blessing in that, right? In that we're letting our brothers know like we're struggling too, right? So
Right.
that can open the door to make it seem like, man, maybe I can say when I'm
Say,
struggling with something
yeah.
Yeah,
too,
and
right? It
that's where
opens a
I felt
platform.
like I had nobody to talk to.
Hmm.
I don't have anybody to reach out, or I
Right,
don't have someone that's I can talk to and
right.
feel like, hey, they're gonna understand where I'm coming from, so it's gonna make me feel better. But even just because I've done it too, is like, hey guys, you know what? I'm also struggling.
Yeah.
Right,
This week has been a challenge, and just the fact that I know that I can count on my brothers is like, hey man, it's gonna be all right. We'll pray
right.
for you. It's that. Oh, okay. I have somebody
Yeah.
else too in my
Mhm.
corner, and it's not just me looking back. and I have no backup. I
Yeah.
have nobody to help.
I've been watching a lot of I get caught up in weird videos, but lately it's been lions, like lions out in the
Okay.
wild,
Yeah.
like hunting and the way their packs work
Give
and
us
all
a
this
roar.
stuff lately. But like you were saying something, I think another like danger of isolation, I think it relates to us is like when we're out on our own, it's like when I see these lions, when one of the brothers or one of them goes off on his own, that's
Right.
when he gets attacked.
Yeah, but the hyenas, right?
Yes,
The
hyenas, they
yeah.
tried the wild dogs.
Yeah.
That's when like other lions want to come and get
Some
him,
other
right?
packs. Yeah, I
Mhm.
seen it. Yeah.
When he tries to hunt on his own and it doesn't, right? And but man, but you see when they're walking, it's like this aura, right? And it's like this presence, like because you know they're walking together,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I think that's very similar to us. Like when we leave on our own, right? We are susceptible to be attacked by Satan and
Yeah.
demonic pressure and spiritual warfare and that sort.
The world, man, the world is full of sinners.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's why we picked
Hmm.
this logo, this name, right, for our podcast, right? It's Ecclesiastes 4:10, right, which says, "If either of them falls down, one can help the other up.
Mm.
But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up."
Right.
Right. So it goes with what you're talking about the lions, man.
Mm.
Like pity him who goes out into the by himself.
Right.
If he falls down, man, nobody's around, man. Pity him because they're gonna kill him, right?
Hmm.
And so I found myself like that when I separate myself, and I know we talked about it a couple of episodes ago when we stop reading the Bible for a couple of days, we start
Right.
drifting.
Right.
I know you talked about it before, right?
Hmm.
And same thing here, right? When we start to deviate from the brotherhood, we can feel it. I mean, I can feel it now,
Right.
right? And so a brotherhood is meant so we can help each other,
Hmm.
right? Help each other, sharpen each other, and be there when we fall. It's like that. I mean, you gave me an example right now, but how does that feel when you have other people like there for you?
It, the best way that I could explain it is like now I feel like I'm connected.
Mm.
You know how as simple as like a Wi-Fi router and a, a laptop or something. It's really useless without internet.
Yeah,
Right.
You know, you can only do so much with it. I can only do so much on my own.
Hmm.
And then once I have a connection with my brothers, like, hey guys, you know what? I'm really struggling through this. Uh, help me out here. What can I do to get through this part? And I have other sources connecting with me to say, hey, we're here for you. This is what you got to do. This is what helped me.
Yeah.
There's that humility aspect of it of, hey, I don't have it all together. I'm just one man. The way society paints is that, hey, we have to be tough. We have to just go through it. And you're the man. Just get it done. We're human at the end of the day.
Right.
And it's really made me really rely on God, but on my brothers too,
Yeah.
to make me feel that, hey, I'm not alone. I have other people to kind of talk to this about, maybe not in too specific detail, which, I know with Miguel, I do get into some details with, um, but there's that comfort of I don't have to suffer alone,
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
and that's really huge. That
Yeah,
I know I'm not
And not to get like deep, right? But we say it and we read it, right? That like God lives in us,
right.
right? So I think was it last episode when we talked about like hearing him, right? And
Yeah,
sometimes hearing him silent. But I think it's kind of like I told you, like I heard maybe you need to listen harder, right? So I think he speaks to us in other ways. I mean, it can be something like the wind, right? But I also think he speaks like through us,
Through us,
right?
yeah.
right.
Like how many times have we been struggling with something and all of a sudden one of us says something, it's like, man, I've been
I
going
was
through
going
the
through the same thing too.
same thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So I think he speaks through us, like, and sometimes I know there's been those nights on Thursdays when we meet and I'm sure not all of us say it, but I think things stick with certain people, and
yeah.
I think he still speaks through us, right? So I think that goes back to you being connected, and I think if we stay connected, he'll continue to speak and work through us, right?
Yeah,
I
Right.
think.
yeah.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, the importance of brotherhood is to help each other grow,
Hmm.
to help when we fall. And one of the characteristics of brotherhood is being honest. We have to be honest, first of all, with ourselves, right?
That's
You got to be honest with yourself and then be honest with our brothers, right? Make
Hmm.
sure that we if you want the right help, right? Not if you just want to hear what you want to hear, then yeah, you won't be honest, right? Like
It's like you said in one of your classes, what you don't reveal, you can't heal.
you can heal. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's like in therapy, right? Like we tell people, hey, you be honest. No matter what it is, I'm not here to judge you. Just be honest. No matter how brutal it is,
Yeah.
so we can help you, right? Because I find myself sometimes when I'm talking to an individual about marriage. They tell me their side of the story, right? And so it has to be, make sure that I don't believe everything they say because it's on their side of the story, right? But
Yeah.
so we have to be honest, right? Uh, and just say the word. I'm struggling. I'm angry. I'm tempted. I'm falling. Things like that we can be honest with,
Yeah.
right?
What are
And
the exercises I tell people, like clients I've told? It was one of them that talked about like how we all do it. When someone asks how you are, we all say, "Oh, I'm good.
I'm
Oh,
good.
I'm
I'm
fine.
okay."
I'm
Right?
fine. I'm fine.
So
I'm okay. Yeah.
what if we were just to be like a little bit more honest? You don't have to tell them everything that's going
Right.
on, but
Yeah.
what did you say? Like, it's been tough, but I'm getting by,
Yeah.
or más o menos,
Yeah.
right? Or what
Yeah.
if you say things like that,
I'm
right?
sorry.
No, está cabrón, pero ahí
Or
andamos.
Yeah.
taking it a day at a time, right?
Yeah.
But like, what if we, that lets someone know, like, he's not good,
Yeah.
and that can open the doors. Like, man, if you need anything, let me know. Or man, me too. It's been rough, right? Yep. And that even in that small interaction, it's being seen, being
Yeah.
heard, and being honest.
Yeah. Being
No,
honest
that's
and
crazy you say that because actually, with a family member, I remember asking him, like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And, "Oh, I'm fine." But I told him, "Hey, I just want you to know that when I ask you how are you doing, I want the long answer, not the I'm fine."
Yes,
He's like,
good.
"So I'm not here to judge you. If you want to talk about it, we can, but just know that when I ask you, it's because I see something's up,
right.
and if you don't want to reveal it, I'm not gonna force it out."
Right. It's good, man. You left the door open.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't
Yeah.
even know that was part of the exercise, and I was like, "Whoa, that kind of clicked right there." Like
Yeah.
I'm already trying to
Yeah.
help
Good.
someone else.
Be a counselor.
Mhm.
You can be 3 counselors,
Hey, we
man.
can open our own practice, right?
Yeah, we
Hey,
can.
there
Yeah,
you
we
go.
can. Maybe we will in the future. I don't know. We'll see, man. But so one thing that I thought at first, the Brotherhood was a soft group of people.
Mm.
That's one thing that I think a lot of people also believe. And Brotherhood is not soft, man, because as we mentioned, we're the culture tells you you gotta be tough and you gotta be hard, right?
Mhm.
But man, like how tough is it to kind of go into WhatsApp and say, "Hey, I'm struggling." That's tough.
It is.
It is very tough, man. It's not tough to hold it. I thought it was. I had to hold it onto it, and that was tough. But tough is like, hey, I'm struggling. I need to go reach out to somebody.
Not gonna lie, that took me by surprise when you first messaged the group because I have been wanting to reach out for a while.
Yeah.
And then when you did, I was like, "There's my door, like perfect," That lets me know that I can do it too.
Yeah.
So thank you for that because now everybody is pretty much doing it. Like, "Hey
Yeah.
guys, I'm kind of struggling." So
To be honest, even like sometimes, like I'll put like scriptures or quotes that find
Yeah.
interesting or cool photos,
yes,
right? But even sometimes when I'm gonna post them, I hesitate, and is I hesitate is just to like, because I know I get annoyed when I get too many alerts, like notifications too. So
Yeah.
like those type of thoughts go through my
Yeah.
mind. It's like, man, I want to post this, right? Because it motivated me. But then I'm like, I'm gonna send it to the group, and they're like, oh, here he goes again. Or like, so even in that, like, again, we struggle with
It's struggle.
that.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
struggle sometimes because we
like
don't
the
want to.
perception,
Yeah.
the thought, the
Yep.
judgment of other guys, other
Yeah.
men, right? So,
Yeah. But but again, it shows that we are going through this. We all are. We're not perfect in this podcast is not about being perfect. We all are going through this together. We're helping each other out, and that's all we're trying to do with people. Like
Mhm.
share our journey with everybody else, and hopefully people out there can reach out. Or man, can reach out and know that you're not alone.
Right.
Right? Like we were at one point, right? And so brotherhood is not soft, right? It's
Hmm.
about correction, accountability, right? Encouragement. We pray together, right? Truth, loyalty, challenge, right? And I know a few times I've talked to Jason. I won't say specifics, but I think I've been maybe too honest with him. Say, you got to chill out with that, or just cool. I don't know if you,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you like it or not, but
no, I
just
do.
like,
Yeah,
man, like, hey, dude, cool, man, but you gotta slow down and just gotta
Yeah.
be careful, right? Because I care, right?
Right.
And no, I'm doing it because I care, right? And so I think that is not soft. I think that I know maybe that's not what Jason wants to hear at the moment, but I think that at the end of that, you know what, I do need to hear that.
Yeah.
What is
And yeah, at the end of the day, I come in and when I would talk to you, be like, okay, I know there's what I want to hear, but I know that there's something that I need to hear.
right?
Which heart am I gonna walk in with today?
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in with like, you know what? I'm gonna just give it to me in the chin. I need to hear.
Yeah,
And sometimes that's all it takes to kind of snap you. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, I got it. And yeah, maybe I went home and I'm like, well, what if it meant this or
Or
what
this
are
could
the
have
in
been,
betweens? Yeah, and but I just stick with like, no, this is how it is. This is how it goes. This is what I'm gonna lean with. If God wants it, He'll make it happen. If not, Amen.
yeah,
That's just how I leave it. Be still. Don't dive too deep into it. Don't be too passive about it either. Um, but it's been really helpful, Miguel.
yeah. It's
Just
good, man.
give it to me how it is, so I can internalize that. And if I have any more questions, I'm not gonna make up the answers in my head. I'll
right.
come back to you.
Yeah,
But
I'll come back to you.
it's like the saying goes, right? Iron sharpens
sharpens
iron.
There you
So
iron.
go.
in
Yeah,
order for you to
Yes.
sharpen, right, it
yeah,
requires, right, that
Yeah.
that
And
sometimes you
sometimes,
help.
like it says, the double-edged sword. Maybe
Right.
that's what I needed to hear. I needed to hurt a little bit. Is like, hey, but that's what you need.
Mhm.
That's
yeah,
why we have this.
yeah,
It'll reveal what needs to come out of you
Yeah,
that
yeah,
doesn't serve
it's like, for example, like addicts, right? One of the like they'll say things like they'll cuss out family, like they'll say they'll never speak to them again when they like either call the cops on them or when they take them into treatment centers,
yeah,
right? They get pissed off.
yeah.
But it's because the family knows like they're gonna get mad at me. They may never speak to me after they get out of this rehab, but like we're doing this because we love them,
We
you.
right?
love them.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
And sometimes
yeah,
that's the same things we gotta do. Is like I think one of the things for us is like we can't be yes men like
yeah,
for
Yeah.
each other,
yeah,
you know?
yeah. And that's important, not to be yes man.
Mhm.
And I think misconception of brotherhood, right?
Right.
And I know that and I'm speaking for me, about what I thought in the past, right? Like brotherhood, like I'm not gonna join the group because they're just yes man, or they're just gonna be
Mhm.
talking about their sad lives, and I was like, I don't need that, right?
Yeah.
But man, brotherhood in our brotherhood, at least in our group, like people share, they're
Mhm.
open, they're vulnerable, right? And we're not gonna talk about what they share about, but they're vulnerable. And but I have seen the change in a lot of people,
Right.
right? Certain people have, said things in there, and weeks ago, maybe a couple of months ago, they were struggling, and now they don't seem to be struggling as much, right?
Mhm.
And so it has helped them to share and to hear other people that have gone or going through the same thing,
Right.
right? And that's what brotherhood is. It's just men helping each other and not just collecting stories or, judging each other, right? Because
Mhm.
we all are going through something.
That's one of the biggest things too. I felt that, man, I'm gonna be judged if I share, or man, they're probably gonna look at me and think like, oh, he's not as manly as I am. But
Mhm.
that's part of it, guys. Brotherhood is not how manly are you? Are we at the same level of manliness? Is like, no, we're all men here who are all interconnected to struggle, and that's something that we all can agree that
Right.
everybody has a struggle.
Yeah,
Everybody has a struggle, and whether you want to seek help or not, eventually you'll get to a point where you need that help, and you know you have brothers, and
yeah,
that's what's just been revealed to me
yeah.
that I can't do it.
Yeah, something I heard this week, a podcast I was listening to, and just talking about surrendering.
Mm.
And we're always like, man, we need to surrender. And like, yeah, we got to surrender, right? But I say you won't surrender until you're like at the bottom.
Right.
Like we always try to surrender first and then kind of seek God. But God's not gonna let He's gonna. I think that what he was saying was like He's gonna make you surrender by
Mhm.
letting you hurt, and then you surrender because then you're vulnerable,
Right.
right? And so sometimes we have to go through that, and I had to go through that in order to surrender to a brotherhood,
Right.
like to get to the bottom again and say, man, I can't do this, and be able to speak up and share with things like that, you know. Uh, but what is a brother that you have relied on that has helped you in the past? If you have had
Mhm.
anybody,
Well, my older brother, like even though we don't like speak on the regular, he's one of those where I know, like if I call him, like it is what it is. It's game time, right? Like that's how he is, right? Not a lot of
yeah.
questions asked. I always think of that clip from that movie with Ben Affleck and that other guy when he
Oh,
tells him like,
the accountant.
"Is it no, no, no?"
Oh no
Where
no
he
no!
tells him something along the lines of like, "Hey, I need you to come with me. I don't know what." And he's
Oh,
like,
that's
"We're
We're gonna
gonna
hurt
hurt
some
some
people.
yeah,
people. You
yeah,
can't ask me who. You can't
yeah,
ask me where." And then the guy says, "Whose car are we taking? Like
Yeah.
yours or
yeah,
mine?" Right?
right.
That's kind of what it is, right? So he's my big brother, and I think for for me, he was like a father figure, we're almost like 8, 9 years apart, right? So, I know we don't check in as much, but he was a great example of it, and I'm praying for him. I'm hoping, one day he can join me at church. Um, but he's been one for sure. Um, and also, I mean, honestly, just recently too. I mean, you all and the group. There's definitely some people that I've looked up to. Like I said, I look forward to our nights. Right? It's almost like this has become like a weapon against
Yeah.
whatever, right? And what I mean by that is like I've had bad weeks, and I've honestly told myself like, "Thanks, I just gotta get to our next group meeting,
Yes, I've
right?"
been
Yeah,
there,
Like
man.
I like that's just gonna recharge me,
yeah,
right? And like, and I know praying to him and all of that, but yeah, like for me, this just in itself, and like I said, I don't feel like I ever even have to tell you all the details or whatever. It's just y'all being there,
yeah.
and being with the group.
It does help, man. Yeah, and so some practical things that you guys can out there can do, man,
Mhm.
to build a brotherhood is find one godly man that you can be honest with, right?
There you
Whether it's
go.
the person, your own brother or family member or just a friend, right? Just be honest. But again, honest. The key word here is honest. You have to be honest.
Mhm.
You don't want to just kind of go and tell you a sad story, right? Not in a negative way, but don't just tell your story to get some what you want to hear, but be honest with that person, right? So they can advise you the best, right? And
What
some
what's the saying? Like, there's the truth, the your version, and your like.
Oh,
There's
it's like there's
there's three different stories: his, hers, and the truth.
there you
there
go.
you
His
go.
Right.
in marriage, I say that there's
Hmm.
three stories: there's his, hers, and the truth, right?
Yeah.
And so only they know the truth. And if they're honest, they'll say it. If not, but most of the time, they have different stories as to how
Right.
things
Right.
happen, right?
Right.
So, like what you were saying, that's what I'm thinking. Like you're saying, be honest. Like, don't just if you're gonna come with a sad story,
Yeah.
also come with the truth,
The
right? 'Cause
truth, yeah.
Yeah.
oftentimes, like we might have put ourselves there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. And we have to be,
Right.
and we want somebody to correct that, to
Right.
remind us, hey, you chose that person,
Hmm.
man. It was, yeah, we told you, or you knew it,
Hmm.
right? I have couples say, well, you knew she was like that, right? I mean, you kept on going, right? And also stop pretending everything's fine, right? I know some
Mm.
of us tend to pretend everything's fine. And like you said earlier, when we're asked, hey, how you
Right.
doing? Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm fine,
Hmm.
right? And we may be fine, but I want to say, that is most of the time we're not.
Right.
I think the majority of the time, most men are not fine. They're tired, they're sleepy, they're stressed out, and all those things are fine.
Hmm.
Like just because you're going through that does not mean that you're not man enough, you're not tough enough.
Right.
It's just that's what we go through as human beings, and we have to kind of realize that
Hmm.
Yeah.
we do that, right?
I know that the world tells you that, hey, no, men don't share their feelings because it's gonna be used against you.
Yeah.
And sure, some people do.
Yep.
Some people do. I'm not saying some won't, but that's where brotherhood comes in. If you're not ready to share that with somebody like a girlfriend or
Hmm.
women, a boyfriend or somebody, then go to someone, like you said, godly that can help you maneuver that, what you feel, so you can internalize it and be like, oh, okay, this is what I'm feeling.
Right.
I know how to move forward with somebody else. Now I know how to be vulnerable, but not have it be kind of thrown back at me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what I know that a lot of men are afraid of. I don't want to be vulnerable because then it's going to be used against me or going to judge me and look at me differently.
Yeah.
But that's where brotherhood comes in. And I feel like I've been pretty vulnerable with you
Yeah.
with some things. And
I
although
think,
I'm not proud of them,
yeah.
it's just, I have to say it that way you understand, okay, if you give me 8 out of the 10 things that made this go wrong, then I'm not going to really guide you the best way.
Yeah.
And I feel leading with humility, honesty with yourself first and with the person you want to speak to goes a long way. And then through your coaching and your
Hmm.
advice too, I've seen the difference that makes.
Yeah. And,
Amen.
and most people, I think they have been very vulnerable in our group.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They've been honest. I mean, at least as far as I know, they've been honest and vulnerable, and some of them maybe too much sometimes. There's a level of honesty sometimes, right? We have to kind of keep it, to a certain level. And again, it just depends on the situation, I believe,
Yeah.
right? But another thing that men can do, right, is join a men's group, a general
Hmm.
men's group. I know we have one at BT Church. If I'm allowed to say that, I think I am. At BT
Yeah.
Church, we have a group. Right now this one's going on till June 11th. And then we're gonna take a break for the summer, and then we're gonna come back September. It's gonna be a biblical manhood, that class that we all attend. But I do have a plan to kind of stay in touch in the summer and kind of meet up. Hopefully we can, whether it's the whole group or maybe a few of us and stuff. That's important.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, start praying with another man, right?
Mhm.
Uh, that's sometimes hard sometimes for me still. I don't pray much in public. I don't even, and like when I go to church, right? My wife's over here, she's next to me, she's dancing and kind of get into it, and I'm just standing there, and I'm looking at the doors. I'm just like making sure, like,
Ranger mode
what's going on.
activated.
Yeah, and so for her, it's annoying, right? But I just, for me, just things are different, right? When I go to church and I have to be comfortable, and so there's something that I'm still working through,
Right,
and
right.
praying with another man is one of those things, right? Ask for accountability, right? It's another thing you can do. Ask for accountability, right? Even if you don't want to, we
Mhm.
want to be able to ask for accountability. I can be honest, hey, what do I need to do and whatnot, right? Be the brother you wish you had.
I like that one. That one's a big one. I
Yeah,
like that one. Like, and I think like I would challenge men to be a little bit more assertive, right? I know when I started, it was like it's like I almost wanted God to like provide me some kind of like divine intervention. Like
yeah,
when I started going to church, it's like God have someone like approach me, have someone come to me, like somebody like a man, like someone take me under their wing kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? And it's like sometimes we got to be the ones to take that step and
yeah.
reach out and
You
say
reach out.
things, right? And
Yeah,
um yeah, so I think being assertive and reach out to each other because I think I say to clients too, it's like even in like in our hurt and like in our suffering, there's something huge that happens when like even in those moments when you become like the servant
that
and
There
you
you
put
go.
yourself to help others in
yeah.
that
It
process.
is called the wounded healer.
Yeah.
I heard
Mhm.
that from my counselor at the
Yeah.
VA. And he asked me, "Hey, you should be a counselor." Like, "Pff, no, like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm broken, dude. Like, I can't." I said, "No, like me, or you," because I was telling him about how I would talk to my clients
Mhm.
in the gym, because I used to be a trainer, and so I would talk to them like the counseling pretty much.
Mhm.
Like, dude, you're already doing it.
Right.
Like you're sharing the story with people, and they relate to you, and so and I did. I mean, I would talk to people, clients about very personal stuff,
Right.
right? As a gym owner, right? And so when he said it, like, yeah, okay, I guess I can be a
Mhm.
counselor. And
Yeah.
so that's when I decided to go back to school and can become a counselor now because yeah, I was already doing it,
Right. Right.
right? And so it does help when I help other people. It helps me.
And you don't have to have the perfect
No,
words,
you
like,
don't.
you
No.
don't, like, just the power of presence, just be there and
Yeah.
let someone know, like you like I told you earlier, like, just let them know the door's open,
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
for
that
sure.
saying how women are always like, "Oh, it's because I talk to my husband or I talk to my boyfriend and they always want to give me solutions." And us
Mm-hmm.
as men is like,
Mhm,
"Well, I know what you need to fix it, but sometimes it's like, hey, I don't need you a
mhm,
solution. I just
Yeah.
need you to hear what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I
mhm,
just hear me out."
right,
Yeah, and so yeah, so brotherhood, like just to kind of close this, right? Don't wait for brotherhood. Find one, or go find one, or
amen,
build one, right? In your community, or within your own, group of friends, or whatnot. Find one man. I can guarantee you that if you have, like, say, a few group of men, and you're looking for something like this, at least there's one man in your group that wants the same thing.
right,
We just don't talk about
in
it.
your
And I
circle,
guarantee you, if you pay attention to how people talk amongst your friends, even if you're at the bar, just pay attention, and you'll find that at least one person is also looking for the same thing. And so I
mhm,
would reach out to that person and say, let's do something together. Let's
right,
get to read the Bible, go to coffee, and see what's the worst thing they can say. Is
mhm,
no, I'm not gonna do that, and then that's it, right? But take the chance, right?
right,
And it's
Uh,
typically your most rebellious, hardened guy
yeah,
that is the one that's seeking that.
yeah.
That's one
mhm,
thing I'm noticing. The one that's very open and very sensitive is like, okay, he already has his foot kind of halfway in, halfway out. But the hardened one that's very machismo, real, I'm a man, get through it. Deep down, you know that's the one that's crying out for that.
And that's probably, yeah, it's probably true. I mean, I know that was me for many years until I
mhm,
finally broke and stuff like that, and broke in a good way. Broke, it's like I broke, but then I rebuilt myself, and even I think even stronger now because I'm able to be a better husband, a better father, a better human being.
mhm,
Most of all, right? I used to be, like I told you guys, I was an a-hole, right? Really bad, and so I own that. It's like
proud of it,
I was proud of being an a-hole, man. And like, yeah, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna be that, right? And I think people still know me like that. right? And that's fine because now I'm a different person, right? But I would challenge everybody to, brotherhood is not optional. Men need men. We need correction. We need encouragement. We need accountability. We need prayer, right? We need men who refuse to let us drift. We don't want to drift because remember, drift can be unknown. You won't know when you're drifting, but if your brother is uh, um, watching you, he can know when you're drifting, right? So that helps, right? And remember, a man alone is vulnerable. A man surrounded by godly brothers is strengthened. Just like Jonathan said about the lions. When one lion goes off into the woods by himself, there's a chance he's gonna be attacked by hyenas.
And
I know,
everything. It's open game.
yeah, open game. So just think about that, and I challenge you all to kind of seek brotherhood, and kind of join us, in this podcast, or find your own, brotherhood and whatnot.
I
Right?
will say, I don't know when this will go up, right? But if I think eventually it will be like on YouTube, right, and all
Yeah,
these platforms, like we do also. They'll all agree with me. Like the door's open. Like y'all can reach us in the comments. Eventually, if we're on other apps, y'all can send us messages.
yeah,
Hopefully, right, we'll have an email. Y'all can send us, and even if we're not available right away, hopefully one of us can reply to you all, put you in touch with resources. Y'all can go to the church. Um, if all else fails, don't hesitate to
right.
reach out.
Yeah,
Yeah. And we do care, like Miguel had mentioned, that we care about where men are headed, not even just now, but in the future. I know you have a son, you want him to be
right.
equipped with the power of God,
Yeah,
leading forward the right way. I have a nephew who, he's even watching the cartoon The Chosen and House of David
yeah,
and all of that, and he's already okay, he's getting there, but this is not just for the men of right now, but the men of before, now, after, and so forth. So we welcome all your comments. Hopefully we keep them nice. Um, but we're here through the thick of it. Doesn't matter what you're going through. If you have a brotherhood, like Miguel said, form one, reach out to somebody, or even us.
yeah. And just to close up, just as disclosure, even though me and Jonathan are counselors, we're not gonna counsel people.
No,
We're not gonna, provide therapy. So if you reach out with any kind of mental health, problem, we will encourage you to go see a professional, not through this channel and stuff like
Mhm.
that,
We
right?
won't send you an invoice or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. So we're not gonna provide that. We're not gonna diagnose people. We're not gonna talk about mental health. Not in that way. Not reaching out to you. We'll suggest, get a
Right.
counselor
Resources.
resources, but we're not gonna be doing counseling through this channel.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. See you guys. Thank you
Thank
again
you
for joining
guys.
us, and we'll see you next time.